Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. In this our November 6, 2024 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including the latest episode of Superman and Lois. It was a punch-on between Clark and Lex Luthor. We've got some news around casting for the upcoming Supergirl movie. We're going to be talking about some of the latest goings-on in the comic book world. We've got lots going on tonight, and to join me as always as my co-hosts are my good friends Michael Bailey, Mark Lax. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey.
Steve, Michael.
We both tonight. Michael, how are you first?
Doing okay. Been up way too long today, but we're gonna muddle through.
Mark, how are you feeling this week?
Better.
That's good.
You know.
So some major events in your country overnight. We won't go into that because this will be a political free zone where we will take your mind away from things political and get into the world of Superman. And we want to thank our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray, our supporters tonight who are sponsoring the show. I want to thank them by mentioning their names and thanking them for purchasing this week's coffee for me. Douglas, John, and Tina, thank you very, very much for your support. And if you want to join those fine folks and support the Superman homepage, then all you have to do is click the join button below on YouTube, or where there are different levels of membership with different levels of perks, or you can go to patreon.com/Superman homepage. And I'll finish off my coffee right now. Thank you very much. There we go. Now, if you're watching this live, you're either doing it via YouTube or directly on our Facebook feed or our Instagram feed or even on our website. Now, seeing as how we're beaming this live across the internet and therefore around the planet Houston, we'd love to hear from Superman fans right across the world. So to talk to us tonight, you can call us using the QR code, which is on your screen. Whoops, there it is right now. Michael, do you want to tell them how they can do that?
Well, they can either go to supermanhomepage.com/live and press the call now button, or they can scan the QR code with their phone and do it that way. If you're doing it through your computer with supermanhomepage.com/live, please mute any external speakers you have, because we're on a bit of delay and that can cause some problems. If you're using your phone, please use a headset or AirPods or whatever. Because if you just use your phone's speakerphone thing, it just doesn't work.
Exactly. Now, for those of you who are tuning in live via YouTube tonight or Facebook or Instagram, we invite you to join in and chat with fellow fans, post your comments, ask questions. We'll keep an eye on those comments and questions throughout the show and react to them as needed. Now, if you're on YouTube and you want your comment or question featured live on the screen, that's called a super chat. All you have to do is click the dollar symbol there on YouTube. A slider will appear on your screen. You decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate, and we will feature your comment or question live on the screen as we go along tonight. All right, so without further ado, let's get into tonight's topics. We're going to skip the movie stuff briefly and jump straight into the television side of the world of Superman, where the latest episode of Superman and Lois aired on Monday night. It was available Tuesday here in Australia. If you are somewhere else where you haven't seen the latest episode of Superman and Lois, then please be aware that we are going to be talking spoiler territory. It has aired. We are discussing it. That's what this show is all about. So please, don't send us messages going, "Oh, you spoiled it. You talked about something that I haven't seen yet." That's what this show is all about. So here we go. Gentlemen, Mark, I'll start with you first. What did you make of this latest episode of Superman and Lois? It was titled When the Lights Come On, and I wasn't sure why it was labeled as such, but it kind of became pretty clear as the episode went on.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's a great episode. Luthor, he's unstoppable. I mean, he's just I'm trying to think of a word for it. He just keeps going. He doesn't stop. He's just relentless. He's relentless.
That's the word.
And he just trying to, literally saying that he would give $10 million to everybody in that whole bar just so he could buy that property, and all of them backing down. I mean, that, that showed a lot of backbone. I mean, that showed a lot about Smallville, about that, this version of Smallville, how they are. I mean, they all could have been millionaires, and they all said nope.
Yeah,
And
that was an impressive scene. Michael, your review is incoming in the next day or two. But I saw you post quite a number of things on your social media accounts, especially the cover from that Superman comic book where he and Lex are duking it out on a planet with a red sun. That brought back memories.
Yeah, no, not of reading that when it came out because I'm not that old. So apologies to everybody watching that is that old. No, it's kind of funny because I don't watch the show live. I have to watch it the next day on the CW app at the soonest. And because of that, things kind of get spoiled for me. And I'm not complaining about that. It's just I knew about the fight before watching the episode. And I have to say that didn't spoil anything. Because this episode was so focused on Lex that I think there was enough there that even though I knew there was going to be a fight between Superman or Clark and Lex, that it didn't ruin, like, everything else was a complete surprise. Them trying to kill Lex, trying to kill Lana, which I think we all saw coming earlier when she was kind of standing in the way of him developing the headquarters where he wanted to. But I think more than anything is what this show has given us is, outside of Smallville, we've never really seen Superman and Lex Luthor mix it up physically live action. We've seen it animated. We've seen it in the comics plenty of times. But this was not only them fighting, it was them fighting kind of on another level. Lex using Milton. And I have to say, quick aside, the fact that the security system had a B13 error was absolutely amazing. I was just like, wow, they are not hiding this at all. If you know what you're looking for, if you know who Milton Fine is, if you know what B13 is, yeah, Brainiac's coming. So in what form, we know not. But no, it was just getting to that point where Clark was that mad, and he goes and has that confrontation under the red sun lamps. And the fact that Lex seemed to be getting the better of him, and then right at the end breaks two of his fingers, which I was just like, wow, Clark's really puts his head through a car window. I mean, it's just like, that was a very decisive victory. And the thing about this episode that I love so much is that through the course of this entire season, Lex has been getting the better of anybody. This was a setback for him. Now, he's going to come back harder, but he misjudged everything about the Smallville end of this. He thought he could go in there, just throw money around, and people would fall in line. The people of Smallville are not having that, especially since they think Clark is Superman. It's almost like they're protecting him in a weird way. It's just like, we can't let him down because he's never let us down. To be fair, guys, he's moved to your town. He's been there 3 years, and you've almost died like 5 times. But that's entirely beside the point. But no, I just love that Lex got served a loss here, and a very definitive one. And my favorite part that he misjudged was he thought Superman's kids and Lois seeing him savagely beat Lex was going to somehow make them think less of him. It's like, they see who you really are. And the two kids are ecstatic.
They loved it.
Lois understands. I think Lois is in a position, and I could be wrong, I think Lois is in a position where she is like understanding where Clark's coming from, but I think even she's like, I'm glad that you gave that guy a red ass beatdown, literally. Um, so just a phenomenal middle episode to get us to the next chapter
Mm.
of this overall season. And the great thing is, I still have no idea where this is going. I don't know
Yeah.
what Lex's endgame is, and I love that.
Yeah. No, this was a phenomenal, brutal episode. Just seeing that beatdown was really interesting, and CW wasted no time in getting a behind the scenes video out there on YouTube. Here's a bit of that now.
You look upset. Did something happen?
We know it was you.
I don't follow.
You harassed my family. You killed my father-in-law. Now you try to kill my friend and her 16-year-old daughter.
Again with these false accusations. You and your wife need to stop trying to set me up.
Stop lying! Your friend Otis is in custody, and we...
That's just a bit of the video there. So you can see some of those behind the scenes shots with the cameras in the street of Smallville. So yeah, just skip through some of that. You can watch the full video at our website. But some questions coming through thick and fast. Pipicia on Instagram. If you want to ask a question, feel free, go ahead. We'll jump in whenever we can and answer that for you. So feel free to ask that. I can't reply to comments on Instagram at the moment, but feel free to go ahead and ask any questions you might have, just like Patrick Van Pelt has done, and a couple of others. So we're just going to go through some of John's questions quickly. Lex Luthor wants to build his new headquarters in Smallville. Did any of the other Superman adaptations on TV do this storyline over the years? Lex has been in Smallville like in Smallville, the TV series. They were, he had his home there. So, yeah, but as far as the headquarters, not so much. Maybe Silver Age comic books, Lex was based as a young man, a young child. Not a young child, yeah, but I guess so. Like, he grew up in Smallville and some adaptations or some stories in the comics. So you could say kind of. Did I hear Clark's heartbeat 3 times when he was checking out the drugstore? No, I think he was listening in to the heartbeat of the the girl behind the cash register, John and Jordan's friend, who was wondering why she was so nervous. And obviously he started kind of clicking on that her and other people in Smallville have clued on to the secret identity. And, Jonathan and Jordan obviously know that now because she's approached them, and as have other people they know. And, Lana's friends, some of the people, it's pretty much everyone in Smallville is a gosh darn nice person, because not only are they keeping Superman's secret identity a secret, but they're also turning down $10 million worth of money that's, offered to them by Lex Luthor. They've got high moral integrity in Smallville.
Yes, they do.
It's fiction, but also small towns can be like that.
Yeah.
They consider it their secret. Clark's their favorite son, I guess you could say. Coach Gaines might be laying it on a little thick and wanting 2 superpowered people to play football for him, which was more amusing than anything else.
Yeah.
I love the fact that these people are just standing up for each other, because when Lex started to get a little physical in the bar, like 3 or 4 guys stood up and were ready to defend her if necessary. And I just like that we haven't, oddly enough, over the past couple seasons, really seen a lot of like the people of Smallville. We we've seen the coach and some of the kids that they go to school with and stuff, but like seeing it as a community outside of like public events, we really haven't seen these small intimate moments. And it's kind of interesting that in a season with a lower budget, we're getting more of those.
Exactly. John Patrick Van Pelt also asks, how many Amanda Wallers have there been under Lex Luthor's control over the years? This is not Amanda Waller. This is Amanda McCoy. She's a completely different character, and she's almost like a Miss Tessmacher. She's almost like, what's the other one that Mercy Graves. She's just one of his henchwomen, I guess you could say, one of his, but his right-hand woman. So Amanda McCoy, not Amanda Waller.
Very different. Very different from the comic. In the comic, she was somebody that worked for Lex that was helping him work on the Superman problem. And basically she figured out with the help of a computer that Clark Kent is Superman, and Lex didn't believe her and fired her. And that led her to hiring a private investigator to prove Clark's identity. Eventually she stole the kryptonite ring, and she met a pretty grisly end. So this is a very different take on that, but it's the same name.
Yes. Mark, Justin in the comments is a little bit confused by Clark and Lois telling Jonathan to slow down and stop saving so much. What do you think their thoughts are there?
Well, I think, they see him being so gung-ho. I mean, he's here, he's there, he's all over the world, and they're kind of like, whoa, you're doing a great thing, but you got to pace it. You can't just be everywhere at once and do you got to be able to pace what you're doing. You've got a life here, and you're not just going to be the super guy. You're going to be, you're going to have your own life as well. And, you've got to learn how to look. Yeah, I want to save this person, but I can't be everywhere at the same time. So they want him just to slow down a little bit. And I understand that.
Yep. Let's see, what else do we have here? So just quickly, one of our Instagram followers, Perpetua, is asking about the Christopher Reeve documentary, if we know if it's coming to the Max catalog, the streaming service. We do know that it's available digitally now. It's one of our topics to talk about tonight, is the fact that Superman, the Christopher Reeve Story, is available to own digitally if you want to go to Amazon Prime and order that online from Amazon. Whether it's coming to the streaming service, I believe it probably will come to Max before too long, but we haven't got an official release date for when that will happen. Considering that they're selling it digitally at the moment, I imagine streaming will be just a little way away. Obviously, they want to get some money from the purchasing of the digital versions. All right.
More than likely. That's usually how they do it.
Yeah. Kenneth in the comments asking, how do you think they will bring in Milton Fine into this season? Would that be the character that, what's his name, that's on The Flash and has directed a few episodes, might play?
Tom Cavanaugh.
Tom Cavanaugh. Could he be?
Yeah, that's right.
Brainiac.
He'd be good for it. It really depends on how they're going to play the character. It seems like in this case, they're taking the term Brainiac to not be an alien, but to be like Lex's wizard, basically his tech wizard.
Yeah.
Which again would really it'd be an interesting take. I mean, to be fair, I don't think we're going to get on television as good as Krypton.
No.
Krypton had just such a great visual for that. And this has always taken established characters and done them, the show has, and done them in such a different way that I think having him be human and being kind of like, for lack of a better term, a gadget guy is a great way to play the character.
Now, Lana and Sarah played a big part of this episode. It kind of was a little bit obvious that Kyle wasn't, they're all cameos and they couldn't bring in certain characters. I mean, if your ex-wife's getting choked up by Lex Luthor, you think you'd be there, and Chrissy. And so that was kind of, just thinking about it now, obvious that they were missing. But it was played really well. I thought Sarah's, excuse or, wanting to go abroad is a great way to kind of removing her from the show and making her not necessarily be there all the time, because we know that cutbacks on budgets have required all those kind of cast members to now just be cameo appearances. And so if you remove her from Smallville, you remove her from being there all the time. So that was, but that it played well. Like the fact that she was looking at Jordan saying like, why aren't you doing more with what you've got? Why are you sitting around moping around and hanging about? And why do you want a job here when, you could be wherever you want to be, like I would be? So it kind of, that played well, I thought.
Yeah, I especially like that it wasn't one of the boys or Clark that came in and saved Lana, that it was Sarah. And because Kyle told his daughters to keep a bat under their bed, that's smart.
Yeah, I got one next to mine.
I gotta appreciate Kyle. And just the fact that she not only once, she tattooed him a couple times with that bat. But it was this episode, one of the now that we're talking about the boys and everything, it was kind of a nice way of getting Jordan back into the game. Him seeing that him taking action led to mistakes, but him not taking action is also problematic.
Yep.
So now hopefully we're going to see more of the brothers kind of together, which will be really cool, I think, because that's a dynamic we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. Now, Mark, it was kind of fascinating that all three of the super beings, if you like, in this story were absent for their own reasons while Lana was getting the life choked out of her. You've got fact that Clark's hearing his powers aren't anywhere near where they need to be. Jordan's, playing video games and tuned out, and Jonathan's burnt himself out that he's exhausted and fallen asleep. It kind of makes all three of them feel so guilty and, a little bit powerless in that situation, and kind of brings to light just how diabolical Lex Luthor is.
Yeah. If he played it that way, I mean, first of all, with Jordan, I just feel, I mean, I know he was tuned out and all of that, but I would still think if he heard Lana scream, I think he probably would have heard her. But I guess he's tuning everything out because he wants to, take it on the down low and just, take a step back. But yeah, no, I mean, well, it just gave a great scene to Sarah to come to the rescue. And I mean, I know, Lex knows what he's doing, but at the same time, he seems to be underestimating, not just people of Smallville, but he's even, underestimating Clark, thinking, oh, I got the yellow sun lamps and he's not going to have his power and I'm going to beat the living, what out of him. And it kind of turned the other way, because he, I mean, this is passion. This is his family, his friends, and he's just coming in there and just trying to get rid of them all. And he's like, no, I don't give up.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna,
exactly.
I'm going after you, and that's it. I don't care anymore.
And hats off to Tyler Hoechlin. Geez, he played that well. The whole angry thing the way he was ripping in. I mean, he's obviously done that before as a werewolf in another show, so we know that he has those that ability. But speaking of Michael Cutlitz as Lex Luthor, there was an interview on TV Line where he talks about a favorite scene of his. Maybe this was before this episode aired, so let's have a chat about it after we listen to this. Wrong one. Sorry, we've seen that one. Here is Cutlitz.
Is there a favorite moment? I'm like, yes, there's a favorite moment, but I can't. It hasn't happened yet, and I can't talk about it. But it's amazing when it happens.
The fact that your favorite moment has not yet happened yet is very exciting. That's all I need to know.
I think it's going to be a lot of people's favorite moment. I think it's going to be it's a huge comic moment.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Is that what we just saw? Is that what he's referring to, or is it something further down the track, you think?
Either way, it's awesome. I mean, if that's what he was talking about, yeah, he's right. That is definitely something that had people talking. If it's something even further down the line, and there's a big moment, then yeah, that's even better.
Well, he's
John
going to get
Patrick Van Pelt
the,
has, sorry, Mark, just 1 second. John sent us a super chat. It also seems that Lex keeps on revisiting the past with Lois. Yes, so it does appear that he has, I mean, Lex is consumed by the past. He's consumed by what Lois did to him by putting him in jail for a crime he didn't commit. One of many crimes that he happens not to have committed, but obviously he's committed so many others. So he does seem to be obsessed with what happened in the past, and that seems to be his undoing at the moment. But sorry, Mark, you were saying?
No, I forget. What were we?
we
What were we talking about?
What were we talking about? Yeah, about whether or not that scene was the scene that Michael Cutlitz is talking about as being his favorite.
Well, he's going to be getting the suit, so I have a feeling there's going to be some kind of either another kind of fight or something. I think having to do with the suit that might, echo something that happened in the comics.
Yeah.
So,
and others in the comments seem to think that as well. Justin, Matthew, they all seem to think that that's what he's referring to, is the upcoming power suit, the battle suit, the Lexo suit, whatever you want to call it. So that might be what he's referring to there. All right, we do have a promo and description and images for the upcoming 7th episode of Season 4 of Superman and Lois. It is titled A Regular Guy. The description reads, after some concerning interactions in town, Clark is determined to protect the secret that he's Superman, a task complicated by Jonathan and Jordan. Lois considers the future of the Gazette after Chrissy proposes something drastic. So have a look. Here is the promo trailer for this upcoming episode of Superman and Lois. Just trying to find the video for us right now. It doesn't seem to be there, so let me grab it quickly for you. Here is the promo trailer for the upcoming episode, A Regular Guy.
Your father has been keeping this a secret his whole life.
Too many people are getting suspicious. We gotta put the genie back in the bottle before it's too late.
You're back already?
I just went to the parking lot. The secret is everything. It's the only thing that gives us a chance at a normal life.
This life is hardly normal.
What do we think? Is it too late? Is the secret out?
I think I think the secret is out, but I think the people of Smallville. I mean, it's not the world doesn't know this. I mean, Lex Luthor already knows it, but it's right now to him, he doesn't care about letting the world know who he is. Letting the world know that Clark is Superman. I think the people of Smallville, I mean, it's one thing if they all know, I mean, it just seems kind of obvious, sort of, if I must say, like Man of Steel, where the town pretty much knew, but just wouldn't say anything, Whether or not it means that he's going to finally tell the whole world, it's very possible, I mean, I'd like them to put the genie back in the bottle, but if this ends with him revealing who he is, I mean, I'm not gonna, that'll be the least thing that, that's gonna happen. I mean, compared to the fact that the show's now, going off, and, we would have loved to have seen it last longer, but, we'll see what happens.
Michael, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's the end game. I think the end game is that the secret is going to be revealed, and the boys are going to lead a more public life. Because again, as I've said in past weeks, they did not have the same upbringing that Clark did. They did not have their powers from a very young age, and were taught to hide it by their father. That was kept from them. And this family has learned that secrets are very toxic to relationships. So it's not going to be easy for them, but I think they want to live more out and not keep it a secret.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm glad that Clark is fighting against the revelation. Like it's not his choice. it's the cat's out of the bag kind of thing, and he's trying to do what he can to protect the secret identity. So I'm glad it's just not him going, oh, well, it's out there, might as well just flaunt it. He's actually still trying to keep it under wraps. All right, we're at the halfway mark of tonight's show. We're going to take a quick break, come back on the flip side to talk about the movie side of the world of Superman. We'll get back to that with the fan favourite segment, This Week in History, and a few more topics. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after these messages.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Gosh, Clark, we've got to get back to the office and call London before the meeting's over. Taxi!
With the AT&T card, your people have the power to handle business better.
Taxi, taxi!
From anywhere to anywhere.
Come on, Clark.
It's okay, Lo. Everything's taken care of.
You always disappear in an emergency.
Order the AT&T card. It gives your people enormous abilities.
And we're back on Superman Homepage Live, where I wanted to play this.
Hello, this is Superman, and you are listening to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com.
Just something I've been playing with lately. You'll see on Friday morning a new audio drama that I've pieced together using some technology that is really interesting. See how it goes. It's kind of a choose-your-own-adventure audio drama using the 1940s radio series voices. So really interesting. I did kind of take a bit of liberty with who's the voice of Lex Luthor, which you'll have to listen to on Friday morning when that is released. It's called the Superman, the Metropolis Code. It's just a fan-made bit of fan fiction here, but as a audio drama, like the old radio series. So something to look forward to in a couple of days. So make sure you check that out. I do have actually a kind of a trailer promo for you here. So let me play that for you and tell me what you think. Just trying to get the file up here. Okay, here we go. Audio drama. Here is the trailer.
Step into the bustling streets and towering skyscrapers of Metropolis in Superman, the Metropolis Code, a thrilling audio drama that brings iconic heroes and villains to life through sound. Join intrepid reporters Lois Lane and Clark Kent as they dive into a sinister plot brewing at the heart of their city. Lex Luthor, the brilliant and dangerous mastermind, has unleashed a powerful artificial intelligence with the potential to control every vital system in Metropolis, from traffic lights to hospital generators. Will Lois and Clark uncover Luthor's plan before it's too late, or will Metropolis become a city under his command? Tune in for suspense, intrigue, and choices that put you, the listener, at the helm of the adventure.
There you have it, just a bit of a promo for the upcoming audio drama that we've put together here at the Superman homepage. All right, on to the movie side of things. We've got some casting announcements for the upcoming Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie, where we've found out that Eve Ridley has been cast in the role of Ruthye Mary Knolle in the upcoming movie. If you're familiar with the comic book story, Ruthye was a young girl seeking justice after her father was killed by Krem. She enlists Supergirl's help to track him down, and they go on a galaxy-spanning quest. So I don't know much about Eve, but seems like good casting, fits the image, I guess. So will be interesting to see. If at the moment, with Krem having been cast, it looks like this is going to be a complete adaptation from the comic book series.
Yeah, which is fine. Like I said, this comic, the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic, is probably a lot of people, more recent readers' first real experience with Supergirl. So this is one of those times where I'm not I have issues with the story itself, but as far as getting a Supergirl movie out there, it's not a bad way to go.
Yeah, I wasn't mind the gap saying I thought it was Ruthye, the pronunciation. It well could be. I tried to do how would you pronounce this name, and Ruthye, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out when we hear the movie.
Apparently, I've been pronouncing Kelex wrong my entire life, because when Man of Steel happened, they pronounced it Kelex.
Yeah.
Which I'm still dubious on that, but whatever.
I had the same. Yeah, I had the same problem with Hermione's name after reading the Harry Potter books. It wasn't until the movies came out that I figured out it wasn't Hermione.
Hermione.
There you go. All right. Well, it's like the old Kara or Lara.
Kira.
I still Kara. I still say Kara in my head when I'm reading the comics.
I've always said Kara, so maybe that's the Australian in me, the way we pronounce certain vowels. But speaking of Supergirl, Sasha Calle did an interview recently with the Hollywood Reporter, where she reflects on her time playing Supergirl in the Flash movie, the fact that she had to front the press tours on her own, and the fact that now she's no longer going to play the role, even though she had a multi-deal contract in place. I'm disappointed for her. I mean, she was probably one of the best things about a pretty poor film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely my favorite part of that movie. I liked the costume. I liked her. I thought she played the character. It's a very different version of Supergirl, but I think she did a really good job of portraying that, and the fact that she didn't get to go on is kind of a shame.
Yeah, I thought she was the best thing in the movie, and I was really, really upset when they killed her off. And then I thought, Flash keeps going back to try to change things, but it just, And then, of course, the movie had such bad reception that it was just, you knew you're never going to see these characters again anyway. So it's unfortunate, because she was really good.
Yeah. She said it was very hard, I have to say. I had bittersweet feelings as I was maneuvering everything. I was very excited, but there was a lot of unanswered questions for me, so it was very bittersweet. So that is sad, again, for an actor to have the rug pulled out from underneath them. All right, getting back to a topic that we touched on earlier, Superman, the Christopher Reeve Story, the documentary film about the life and career of the late great actor, is now available to own digitally. The links are on our website. It's on Amazon Prime if you're interested in purchasing that digitally. There's also the soundtrack if you're interested in purchasing that as well. But we don't know any other details as to when it will be available on a streaming service at this point in time, but I imagine it won't be too far away. So there is that, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I'm looking forward to watching it again, having watched it at the movie theaters with my mother. Very heartwarming and gut-wrenching film.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it when it finally hits Max.
All right, John Patrick Van Pelt in the comments asked about Cruiseville. Wasn't sure what it was. It is a cruise with Smallville cast members. So it's a physical cruise. You get on a boat, on a ship. It departs from Orlando in Florida. You go on the Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas, where you're joined by the cast members of Smallville for 7 nights, a voyage of 7 nights, exploring some private island, perfect day at Coco Cay. There you'll have Tom Welling, Michael Rosenbaum, Erica Durance, Laura Vandervoort, and John Glover at this point in time. There are other guests to be announced down the track, but this is taking place June 15th. They sail off June 15th, 2025 for Cruiseville, a Smallville-inspired cruise. 7 nights. Should be fun.
Yeah, a lot of properties are doing this. Star Trek has it. I know, like, there's been like Beatles cruises and stuff like that. So this is just one of those things that is getting more and more popular in terms of new ways to do a convention, basically. A little more intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the Bahamas, Mexico, Honduras, back to Florida. June 15th to June 22nd. Sadly, a bit too far away for me to go from Australia to Florida, but I encourage anybody who's close by and interested and has the money to go on a holiday around June. Go for it. Sounds like a lot of fun.
I might as well be in Australia for the chance I have to go for going. So, but
yeah, and I as much as it would be, I think you need a passport because you're going to Mexico, and I don't have one of those right now, and that's like my wife's birthday is in the middle of that, and that would be like kind of a hard sell.
Yeah,
like,
well, it could be
like,
great,
hey babe, I got this great idea for your birthday. I'm going to put you on a boat. I know you hate boats, but I'm going to put you on a boat with the cast of Smallville. It's going to be great.
Justin on the comments says, "Bring back the Love Boat."
No, I actually, oddly enough, Justin jokes, but I saw an ad on Facebook. It's another one of these like comic convention cruises, but it's a pop culture convention, and they actually Ted Lang, Isaac from the Love Boat is going to be there.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, is that really what you want to do? I mean, I can see wanting to go and meet your fans, but like, how many times is he going to have to sit behind a bar and pose with people with his fingers out?
His whole trip.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that seems like a really weird thing to put yourself through, but I guess if the check clears, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's a paycheck, exactly. Another thing that we've produced here at the Superman homepage that you might like as a Superman fan is the 2025 weekly planner. It's a calendar for 2025. It includes many dates, historical milestones, key dates, birthdays, you name it. It's all included in this downloadable digital file that is a planner for 2025. It includes, week by week, you've got dates in there, like some examples. Like in January, you've got Sophia Hasmick, who plays Chrissy Beppo. It's her birthday on January 27th. Justin Hartley on January 29th. Gene Hackman on January 30th. All these dates, birthdays, anniversaries, key comic books when they came out, certain things in the Superman universe that came out. It's a weekly. It's only $9.99 US, and it is a labor of love that I put a lot of time and effort into. So if you're looking for a calendar, a weekly planner, and with all the key dates from the Superman universe, you can't go past this. Just go to supermanhomepage.com. You'll see the banner at the top of our website. Get out there and get it.
It looks awesome. It really does. The hard work has really paid off.
Thank you very much. All right, let's look at some of the interesting things that are happening elsewhere in the world of Superman. I haven't got around to reading it yet. I know, Mark, you're up on your comic books. Michael, you're a little bit behind like me. I do things on a monthly basis these days. Absolute Superman. The review is up on our website. We did a deep dive using some other technology that I've been playing with lately as well. Mark, have you got around to reading this one yet?
I started reading it, and I do plan on finishing it, but and this has nothing to do really with the story or anything, but I fell asleep in the middle of reading it. But I think I came home from work and I was tired and my eyes were clouding. So I'll get back to just finishing it. I mean, it's really interesting take, especially on Krypton and you know the L family and how that all works. And I found that kind of fascinating. I mean, you know, I don't know. This is certainly not going to be my Superman, but this could be an interesting book. I just want to finish it and go from there.
I have to I have to voice my commiseration with Mark of falling asleep while you're reading because you just got home from work and you're just kind of tired. The problem is that I read with a tablet now, and I can't tell you how many times I've smacked myself in the face because I'm sitting there and I'm like kind of lying back and I fall asleep and suddenly that tablet's like right here and it's just like, oh, it's like the up and downs of technology. On one hand, yeah, it's really convenient. You got like all these books. You don't have like stacks of books. You don't have to. But, you know, when a comic fell on you, it didn't hurt.
Right.
First world problems.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. That's funny. But our reviewer, Craig Beamer, gave this a 4 out of 5 rating on our review on our website. 5 out of 5 rating. He said the story isn't perfect, but it is cool. Aaron does a good job with establishing the world, and I'm excited to see where this adventure goes. I find myself more excited to spend time with Krypton than with Superman, though, which is something I've never experienced. So very interesting that he's got a different take on Krypton. So I believe the Absolute line is selling like hotcakes. Absolute Batman went sold, something record kind of breaking numbers. I've heard the Wonder Woman version was really well received. And it's a little bit early still. It's still just Wednesday there. The comics just came out today. So Absolute Superman #1 out there now, folks. We are doing like deep dives into this, almost like a podcast type series that is on YouTube. So if you want to take a deep dive into the world of Superman through a podcast, there is that. None of us are involved in it. It's 2 other completely random people in doing the discussion on this podcast that is part of the Superman homepage YouTube channel. So make sure you are checking that out. All right, so yeah, once we know a bit more, once I've read Absolute Superman, I'm happy to share my thoughts here possibly next week sometime if I get around to it. And Mark, if you haven't fallen asleep finishing it off.
Finishing the rest of it.
I
think I'll be fine.
You think you'll be fine. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. On the merchandise side of things, there are some interesting upcoming releases. This is from Funko. Funko Pop has got into the festive season with Supergirl having a festive ensemble. She's got a gift there in her hand. She's got the Santa hat on. This is a 4.25 inches tall Pop Funko vinyl figure, priced at $11.99 US. Expected to arrive on December 11th, but available to pre-order now through our website. Check it out at supermanhomepage.com. This is cool.
Yeah, really. That is absolutely adorable. I really have to get that to put it next to the Superman one that I have. That's festive. So, that is awesome.
So there you go. Awesome. That's a cool figure. Also, there is this action figure from McFarlane Toys, Superman 78 action figure. It's obviously based on the Superman 78 comic book series. This is a new page puncher 7-inch scale figure. Includes a reprint of the comic book. And this is just the first look. We don't know. I believe it will be pre-ordered. Pre-orders will be available for this on Friday, November 8th. So we will post up a pre-order link, which is, I keep saying this, folks, if you want to order your Superman merchandise through the Superman homepage, it's no extra cost to you, but we do get a kickback. So it's a great way to support the site financially without actually financially having to hand us any money. It's just if you're going to buy this figure anyway, you might as well do it through the link found at our website. But yeah, this I think will go down well with Christopher Reeve fans. It's a little bit of a funky kind of different design. It's always interesting when they do shading on a comic action figure based on the comic book cover. I never really got that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I get where they're coming from with it. I just don't think that it works practically. It's like when they had that Superman 85 figure that was painted to look like the image of him flying sideways, but if you have him like standing there, it looks really weird. There's also a Funko coming out with that Action Comics cover of him in the gray costume standing in shadow, and like the Funko face is colored black to look at the shading, and it's just like I get where you're coming from. I don't know if it works.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the fan favorite segment of our show. Here we go. Where is my button for it? There it is. Surprisingly, we only had one person respond to our fan favorite question, which was, what is your favorite Supergirl statue, action figure, or figurine? Michael, we only had one person respond. Who was that?
Yes, sent in without comment from Cubby. But
Thank you,
no,
Cubby.
I mean, it's a good one to send in.
Yeah. No comment, just send in the photo. Cubby, thank you very much for that. I have that sitting right above me on my desk right now. This is obviously the Supergirl issue, the cover of that comic book, Action Comics. I think was it 252?
252.
Yeah, where the revelation Supergirl coming to Earth, landing there on the cover, coming out of the purple rocket, surprising her cousin Kal-El. So thank you, Cubby, for sending that one in. It is a great statue. I have a couple of the one there on the left is almost like a Marilyn Monroe Supergirl type of thing. It's like a paperweight, almost a bust. And then the one on the right is the Supergirl from the Superman the Animated Series, sitting on top of the Daily Planet globe there. So there are a couple high up on the shelf there, so excuse the angle.
Still look good.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised we didn't get more, but thank you for Cubby for sending that in. I don't suppose you guys have anything handy to kind of...
No. If I did, it would be the Crisis on Infinite Earths DC Direct figure with the headband. That's definitely my favorite.
Very cool.
And oddly enough, the DC Direct New 52 Supergirl figure was really nice.
Interesting. Very cool. All right, Mark, what is our new fan favorite question for this week?
New fan favorite question is, what is your favorite Daily Planet statue, figurine, or action figure?
Yeah, I mean, you can cheat if you want to and have, a character on top of the Daily Planet or whatever. Of course, there haven't been that many, but there are quite a few Daily Planet figurines or statues that I can think of. I'll grab one for my revelation next week. But get involved. info@supermanhomepage.com is the email address to send that to, info@supermanhomepage.com, and we will reveal what you have in your collection when we return to this segment next week. All right, let's jump into This Week in History as we finish off tonight's show.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bars of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Really quick one this week. Not much on either front, but we're going to go back to 1954 with Superman pals Jimmy Olsen. Number 3, with the man who collected excitement. I figured he'd be collecting Jimmy Olsen. Who knows? In 1964, we have one of my favorite covers ever, Superman number 174. This is one of the Superman from the 30s to the 70s covers that was in one of the galleries. So I've been seeing this thing for like 40 years now. But yeah, I just love how much of a jerk Superman is. In 1974, we have limited collector's edition C34, but most people would call it Christmas with the Superheroes. And apparently it's got a giant 1975 super calendar and puzzle pages. So I love the Treasury editions. 1984, we have Superman number 404. Which is obviously written by Chuck Austin because Clark is there with Lana and they have a kid together. If you get that joke, congratulations, you read comics in 2004. 1994, we have Metropolis SCU number 2, continuing the look at Maggie Sawyer and Lois Lane as part of the SCU. 2004, we got JLA Classified number 1, which brought Grant Morrison back to the property and spawned an entire line of action figures. We have Justice League Unlimited number 3, which I don't know if Superman appears in it, but it's a Justice League. We have Majestic number 4, which is the final issue of that miniseries where he faces off against the Eradicator. Question number 1, if you want to read a very long, rambling review of that, it's on the website. Because I wrote the reviews for that one. That was part of the Superstorm. That's a really bizarre series. And Superman Batman number 14 continues the Supergirl series. I think this is the final chapter of it. No, it's not. It's the second to last one. And in 2014, we have Action Comics number 36, which is the post-Doom storyline in Action Comics with Greg Pak writing. Those were actually rather good. Earth 2 number 28, continuing the end of that series. Earth 2 World's End number 5, which is also ending all of that. Injustice Gods Among Us Year 3 number 3, and finally, after over a year, Superman Unchained number 9.
That was crazy. I remember that. It took a year to come out.
Yeah, and it really ruined the reading experience. I got to reread it at some point. November 4th, in the real world, Kiana Maduria, and I hope I've pronounced your name properly, was born in 1992. And on November 7th, which is tomorrow here in the States, it's traditionally recognized as the birthday of Martha Kent. And that is this week in history.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for that. And that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Superman Homepage Live. Thanks to all those who participated in this final hour, this past hour of the show, I should say. Mind the Gap, Nostalgic Pod Blast, Ramel, JP Rocha, John Patrick Van Pelt, Justin, Kenneth, so many others, both on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We really appreciate your company. Thank you to my co-hosts, Michael Bailey, Mark Lax. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you,
always
Mike.
a pleasure, man.
The complete 1 hour video of tonight's show will remain available on the Superman homepage website and on our YouTube channel if you'd like to watch it back, or perhaps you missed part of it and want to watch, missed part of it and want to watch the whole thing again. You can do so on those 2 locations. If you want to sponsor the show, like Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray, you can please head to patreon.com/Superman homepage, where you can be a sponsor for as little as $1. You might also like to become a sponsor by going to the YouTube membership program. All you have to do is click the join button on YouTube. Michael, Mark, and I will be back next week on Wednesday, November 13th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for another edition of Superman Homepage Live. Hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice. On behalf of myself, Michael, Mark, Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.